So, in this episode of Made to Imagine, our guest is Matt Stark, Vice President of Partnerships at the Paradigm Golf Group, a company known for helping golf businesses grow not just revenue, but engagement, culture, and community in some of the most competitive golf markets on earth. We will talk with Matt about how you build real community in an industry steeped in tradition without losing the soul of the game, what it takes to drive growth and repeat engagement through experiences, and how social entertainment elements like premium putting, tech-infused entertainment, and design built on creating vibes are delivering new revenue streams and expanding who golf venues can be for. So without further ado, here's my chat with Matt. Enjoy. Hi, Matt. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Good, man. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Now, I feel like I've got tons to talk about with you. This is, of course, a podcast that's dedicated to the business side of social entertainment. But the reason I wanted to talk with you is because you have been at the forefront of a business that is kind of taking the entertainment and social aspects of golf in all its forms and making those kind of anchors for generating business. All the while, kind of traditional golf clubs are still placing 18 holes of golf as the marketable centerpiece. Now you've got multiple venues that you've done this for, but I specifically want to talk to you about the golf clubs that you work with. As someone who's an avid golfer and someone who loves the traditions of the game, I feel like you guys have created a vibe that from the outward facing marketing that regardless of the course, I just want to experience and be a part of. I'll put some pictures up on the video here, but for those that aren't kind of tuning into the YouTube of this podcast, can you give us a taste of what the business model is at places like Dobson Ranch and the Nash?
Yeah. Well, one, thank you for the kind compliments, and that really means a lot. I think essentially, like our model is just making a golf course a community center and a cultural hub, right? Like we've seen these properties as a management group and an ownership group for over 20 years now. I've been a part of it for six. We've always seen these places as like the best place to activate your neighborhood, your city, have tourists come in and enjoy it and really make it like a cultural epicenter. I mean, it's honestly by doing like pretty, what we consider simple things that go a long way, which is like, we have music that's playing all around the pro shop, restaurant, driving range. It's fun, upbeat, happy. We don't have a dress code, obviously. Like I wear a collared shirt just based on my profession and whatnot. But t-shirts, graphic tees, whatever is welcome. We're super excited to have that, and then really kind of like building activation around getting people to be here for more than just golf. Obviously, that's always our center point, but we want them here for the course, obviously, but the driving range, the mini putting course, or just to hang out for a good lunch or dinner or a couple drinks for happy hour, so on and so forth.
And so how did your thinking evolve from the traditional model of like people come here to play 18 holes, to people come here to spend time? Like how did that influence decisions around the kind of other services and experiences to offer at those places?
Yeah, when we first got our start, we were in a highly competitive market, the Palm Desert, which there's essentially like a golf course on every intersection in the entire city. And so there had to be a differentiator. And if you've ever been to the Palm Desert, it can be considered older or so on and so forth, but there's still, people all over that want to do fun and cool things. And so it honestly started with like putting field goal posts and big drums out on the driving range, and people would hit them or try and hit the ball through the field goal post or so on and so forth. And we noticed very quickly, like people wanted that in between of like entertainment and traditional golf. And so it's okay, what can we do to capitalize on this? And very quickly it evolved into the music, the this, the that. And then really the big unlocker for us was installing a technology driven range. So we have a technology partner in range that we have 41 bays. And then the big kicker was putting on our like 9-hole mini putt court to really like activate the entire property, which turned into the stable bar and grill. So we have a bar and grill putt course and then our tech range. And that really like unlocked what we call the new non-traditional golfer, right? People that wouldn't traditionally come here, they would have no interest, but they come here because it's a cool, fun, safe environment for them to enjoy time with themselves, friends, or family.
And how did, I suppose, in both Florida and Arizona are probably two of the most competitive golf markets at least up there in the world. I mean, how did you decide who those places were really for? And also, did you physically have to make a decision to say, we're not going to try and compete with the local competition on this?
It's funny, I have to be very careful with the words that I use. But what we found is that we really enjoyed high density competitive markets because we believed in our ability to be entrepreneurial, sales focused, and most importantly, customer focused, and have a warm, friendly smile. Hey, how are you doing? A relationship and like community building staff on site, as well as a marketing plan. Those things are not done very well by your traditional golf course operator. So like my answers are going to be a little backwards from normal, but like we don't want to market based off of the tradition. Now we respect it and we still have, many groups that play here that have been here for 30, 40 years that have watched the progress of what we've developed over the last 6 to 7. But we really wanted to, kind of get a little more carnival, theme park, fun with our style in order to separate ourselves from what you normally see with golf course. I always joke, like for fun, anyone listening to this, look up a golf course website and tell me how long it takes for you to find someone smiling on the website. It's going to be a lot. You know what I mean? That's a great analogy for like what we are and what we're all about is look, beautiful fairways are great. And I love pictures of them, but like, let's put some people on that golf course or on the driving range or in the restaurant shop or anywhere just on the website, please.
That's a good point. Yeah. And so just kind of taking it back to the kind of business model. So some other social entertainment brands in golf have pricing models that encourage maximum dwell time for kind of maximum value. You've adopted something like that at some of your venues for the mini golf and for the range as well. We're kind of free golf all day for kids and, kind of affordable and attractive unlimited play passes for adults. How has that impacted your average spend per head? And can you share any kind of strategy behind the pricing structures that would be useful for listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I always say like our biggest unlock was our ranch card and smash pass programs. Essentially a ranch card is a calendar year, pass that you buy one time. It's anywhere from, 89 to 115 bucks depending on where you're from. And it gives you, the best rate we offer. It gives you $2 off a large, $1 off a medium, half off of an hour on in range, half off on our putting course, $1 off food and beverage, and then access to our sunset program, which is like something I'm really proud of. Which within 2.5 to 2 hours of sunset, it's $14 a ride and $9 to walk, which is the most affordable golf you will ever
Yeah,
find. And
it's
then our
unreal.
Smash Pass is the exact same thing. It's just extra discounts on the range. So, a couple more bucks on the large and medium, and then a free hour of our in range. And I can get into the nuts and bolts of why we sell it that way. But the thing that's really cool is our staff at the counters, whether it's restaurant, range, pro shop, if they sell those passes, they actually commission on them. So we're giving the staff the ability to come to work and make a really, really good living, depending on how many they can sell. So it incentivizes them and it really helps build that like, hey, we're happy to be here. We're excited to be here. We want to make money. We want to be great to the customer because it'll result in some type of fiscal reward for us. So it's the most important thing we've ever done as a management group, to be completely honest.
Amazing. That's really good. And like I say, I've got some questions that I wanted to ask about kind of staff and culture in a sec.
Yeah.
But I suppose one of the hot topics in our world of kind of designing and building mini golf courses, putt courses, and kind of location based golf entertainment venues is that building and maintaining a real golf course has massive upfront cost and then considerable maintenance and upkeep overheads. We're seeing a lot of golf clubs adding mini golf on the basis that the cost of putting in 18 holes of artificial putting course is a tiny fraction of that. There's none of the maintenance and upkeep, but revenues that are kind of meeting or even exceeding that of the golf course. So, kind of how do you evaluate your return on investment of the mini golf course versus the main golf course, driving range, and F&B as kind of separate functions?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, for us, I think our putting courses are we have a 9-hole putting course, a stable that's I want to say it's around 18 months old. And essentially, like what we've seen. So, to start, any chance we as an operator can get to bring in a golfer that doesn't golf or a person that doesn't golf, we want to take it. It's extremely important. So, admitting a mini putting course will result in people that don't golf to come out and actually golf, right? So that's really important to us, whether that's grandparents, parents, kids, so on and so forth. Anyone can play it, right? And that's probably my favorite thing is, you know, walking outside on a Monday at 4 and seeing the range full and the putting course has all 9 holes with groups on it. And, it's really like the perfect entry level thing where you can take them from the putting course to the range to the course, right? It's a 3-step progress and they naturally do it on their own. And you still get the people that are on the course going back to the putting course and the range, so on and so forth. So there's that piece of it. I can tell you just based on our finances from when we installed the mini course, to the last 18 months. I mean, we are up, I think just this month alone, we're up on the range like $100,000 based on last year from month to month. So it's not even remotely close, like how much it impacts being this like entry level thing, being a piece that makes the course look like more of a community asset. And then being able to, it's not a huge charge for us, but we're not betting on it being that because that's not considering food and beverage, range, course, so on and so forth. So it's really that like fundamental piece that like adds on to everything that really puts like the cherry on top, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. So just coming back to the kind of the staff culture and the incentivization that you touched on. So we talked about the commercial opportunity, but I want to talk about something that's it's quite close to my heart, and I think it's overlooked by a lot of venues, and that is the customer experience. I suppose the old Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner epiphany of kind of if you build it, they will come is very romantic, but I think that businesses and investors sometimes take that a little too literally, and they build the physical location and then fill it with young people, don't train them, pay them poorly, and expect that their guests are going to want to come back time and time again because of the amazing product they've created, right?
Yep.
In reality,
Yep.
though, when they build, that means you have to build the culture too. And that extends not just to the customers through the branding and messaging, but through your staff too. The people facing your customers are more often than not the thing that kind of brings people back. So having staff that care to learn and build genuine relationships with clientele is, I believe, the lifeblood of a venue like the ones that you're operating, and building a community and a vibe that's kind of unrivaled. So, from your perspective, how do you build a staff culture at golf clubs that delivers a consistent come as you are experience? And what are you doing with the staff there to make it more than a superficial experience for guests?
I mean, there's a lot in there, right? And it's so true. Yes, that is like an extremely important thing in regards to, and even here, like, look, we have our regulars, we have our guys that come in every single day, and we know their things, we know their names, their family members, we know all of that. I think one is, and this is why like we love a golf course like Dobson or Palm Beach or other opportunities that are out there, is because I'm going to hit on something you hit on, which is like, if you build it, they will come and their idea is great and so on and so forth. There's so much to unload in there that's hyper important. And I think we've seen some big box entertainment venues fail lately. And a lot of people like to throw around why it was this and that. Like at the end of the day, those places are sterile. They're lifeless, they're cultureless. They don't feel like they're somewhere where you can go and belong and be comfortable. It's just like this thing, this blah. And owners and operators and people get so caught up in you know talking to the people around them and not listening to the people that are going there. You know what I mean? And it's have to listen to what your location's culture actually is. Our culture at Dobson and our culture at Palm Beach, being one in Arizona, one in Florida, are completely different. And we know that. And that's why we have these public golf courses, because the neighborhood's going to tell you what that culture is. The customer is going to tell you what that culture is. And so by strategically hiring the right staff, some golfers, a lot of golf people that maybe have just started playing golf, but really like people that come to the location and play there all the time. That's how I got the job. I was just a guy working in construction, selling some construction services. And I became really good friends with the owner through talking about a Titleist blade. And I would come in on Fridays and we had this back room that was full of golf clubs that I would cut down for juniors and we would donate to them for free. And I would just volunteer my Fridays, and slowly but surely we developed those relationships. I got to know the staff, and I got a call on a Friday that was like, "Hey, come on in into this room that I'm sitting in right now. We want to sit down and talk to you." And I drove in and sat down with them and the team, and they said, "Hey, we want you to work here." And it was like the moment that changed my life and trajectory forever, because they saw that I loved and cared about this place and was giving my time to it. And that's all throughout the entire country and the entire world, right? You have a very special connection to the property that you go to the most. So that's where we look for our hiringers. Who is our regulars? What are the opportunities? Where are they at? I don't care if they're golfers, not golfers, part-time, full-time, whatever. That's a strategic part of it. And then that like incentivization. So to wrap it all into one, you're bringing in people that are local, that understand the neighborhood, that understand the area, that understand the culture. They then have those built-in relationships with their friends, and that positive energy kind of, moves out into all the customers. And then again, like, you have to be careful because you don't want to get too incentivized, but that incentivization is extremely important to make sure that these employees can like make enough to have a living, to start a family, to buy a house, to do, I mean, all those things are extremely important for them. And in order to create this like really positive vibe that we've created. Trying not to be sterile, trying to embrace the surrounding community and trying to really like encompass it and listen to the most important asset for any business, which is their customers. Like they are going to tell you what they want. Listen to them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to summarize it. So, does your business still feel very seasonal, or is this new angle kind of producing those kind of year-round returns? I know that weather comes into it a lot, and obviously in the places that we're talking about, weather's always pretty good. But how are you also kind of keeping the vibes fresh as time goes on? Are there any variables that you're adding in as far as events or special activations to make each repeat experience different?
Yeah, that's a great question. So weather always, has something to do with it. Obviously, when it's 115 or 190% humidity, depending on our locations, you'll see a dip in the cost of the round. You know what I mean? But we stay booked. I mean, 24/7. We put out on 18 holes, close to 95,000 plus rounds a year. I think the big thing for us is utilizing social media, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. The other thing that's really important, and on my LinkedIn, I've been posting a lot about this lately, which is activating with your brand partners. I just put out a post about Random Golf Club and what they do, and bringing 120 people to play a scramble at the same time during twilight golf. That's been really cool for us and brought a lot of people out. Something maybe a little smaller scale, but still as impactful. Have Devro come out with their truck, put out a new line, sell it to people as they walk up, or create like an activation around it.
Nice.
All the way to like tomorrow, if depending on when this releases, will be February 3rd. We have the first ever Good Invitational tournament here at Dobson, which will have, almost every member of Good partaking in. It'll have, public that's part of their Discord. It'll have other influencers that they're working with. And then after that, it flows into a range party where people will be able to get to, hit balls right next to a lot of these influencers that they walk or that they watch all the time. That's been like such an important part of our business, is embracing influence, embracing social media, and having great partners with them. And it's as simple as, hey, just, you know, booking them tee times for free and letting them go play, right? It's not rocket science. It's making sure that we provide them with the ability to create content because they're on the grind as much as we are. So, embracing partnerships, working with influencers, merging both of those together to create unique events, are really, really cool and have been a huge unlock for our properties.
Yeah, no, I must admit the good guys are yeah, I love what Bob Does Sports. I've mentioned them on previous podcasts that I filmed recently. They're doing something now where it feels like the game is just opening up. You don't, we've moved away from golf influencers being just the very, very best in the world. And it's actually more about the enjoyment of the game with your friends now than it is about the kind of elite elements of the sport. And I love what they're doing. We actually just supported the good guys at the SoFi Center for their Boston Common Tea Party that they did with the Boston Common Golf Club at TGL. And man, the buzz that they create and the people that they bring to these events that aren't even interested,
Yeah.
they don't play golf, a lot of these people, but
No.
they're interested in, like you say, coming to see the stars, coming to see the influencers, watching them hit balls into a big screen, and getting closer to these people than they ever would otherwise, and it's a great model, and we're hoping to do more work with the guys at Good. I mean, it's and certainly some of the other kind of major influences in the UK and abroad as well. So yeah, it's a great time to be a casual golfer, I think.
Dude, it's the best time. And you're totally right. What's cool is, just to shout out the like good team, like they have such a great company and great people to work with. It just makes it so much easier, right? And it's as simple as just like, you know, just creating that relationship, trying to help them out, make sure that you're doing as much as you can for them, because it pays itself back tenfold, right? I think we look at it so opposite of like, what are you doing for me? We never, I mean, rarely. We've asked a couple times, but we never really ask, post us in it, tag us in it, mention like it makes the content unauthentic. Just our personal opinion on it, and then there's a lot more like they wanna do it because they know that we're partners, we know that we're working together, we know that this is more authentic, so it's been such a cool process to really get to know everyone that's involved, from the camera focus side to the behind the camera and the whole teams for all these different groups. It's really cool, man, and it's a really cool culture to kinda be in the middle of.
Man. Yeah, I was watching one of their videos the other day, and they were taking us on a tour of their new facility that they just have, and Brad said something about putting in a mini golf course, and immediately my ears pricked up, and I was like, "We can do that for you guys, and we may not even charge you." You heard it here
Yeah,
first.
yeah, 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 who knows? Maybe they'll get a golf course and you can put a mini golf course on it. Who knows what's gonna happen,
Exactly,
you know
right.
what I
That's
mean?
that's that's the dream. But yeah, okay. So just moving on a little bit, I wanted to talk about tech, like technologies being infused at every level of golf experiences these days, and in many ways is kind of shaping it. But as far as social entertainment is concerned, I love the idea of tech being the community glue, that gives people more reasons to come back and connects guests together. uh, this is things like live leaderboards that show you the scores of people who are using the app-based scoring systems or apps that connect golfers together to play. You mentioned in one of your posts about how golf clubs should operate more like run clubs. And obviously we're seeing that with like pickleball and paddle linking people to play at different skill levels via applications. Like kind of how do you feel about tech infusion as a community builder? And is there anything that you're doing already or would like to do at your golf venues and using tech to do that?
Man, I mean, that's probably I've said it a lot, right? The biggest thing, and there are a lot of them, but tech has been it's changed everything for us. We have a technology partner in InRange that is doing something that I think is not being talked about enough right now that is going to change how golf is played, like period. We help them and partake in the in-range world tour. So essentially every single bay that they have and every single player can take place in the same golf tournament at one time. It's handicapped, it's flighted, it's net, it's gross. You can, see where the person is from, their name, the range they're hitting at, and everyone's competing against each other. It's really this like globalized asset in golf where you're doing these golf tournaments for the first time where instead of 200 players in a cut to whatever 72 or what now it's like there's there someday there'll be millions right now there's thousands to hundreds of thousands of people playing on it, and it could be as big as the world tour or as small as us just doing a competition against Palm Beach National and our other in Sierra Vista Golf Center, or even challenging other driving ranges, right? And having that like interconnectivity based on the technology is really cool. I think also like with our mini putting course, like what we like to do is do a lot of, and we're starting to do this a lot more is like live streaming events where we set up a live streaming camera. We have a hole in one activation. If you can get it in, we'll give away gift cards. We'll have people that are watching it live and have brands come in and kind of make that a part of what they're doing. really what like tech has done for us all together is just create this entry level access that's so easy for the customer to digest and want to be a part of. And it really makes them feel like they're going to belong, because let's be honest, like playing on a golf course, there's a lot to it, right? It takes a long time. It's really hard. You're going to hit off lies you're not used to. You're going to lose a couple golf balls. There's a lot that goes into it. It takes that out of it, and it really lets you just be naturally you. And so it's going to evolve into two completely separate things that need to stay cyclical and need to stay on the same property. But it's a huge unlock, and it's just so cool to be at the forefront of it. To be honest, I mean, we put our tech in, I want to say 4.5 years ago now, and we've only added to it and invested more and more into it.
Wow, that's awesome. So I'm about ready to wrap up, but before I do, I wanted to ask kind of you on behalf of any golf course owners or operators that come across this episode. What is the one thing that you'd want them to take away from this conversation that we've had, and what they should consider with their own business? Anything that you any nuggets of advice you would give?
Yeah, um I think now is the time for every golf course owner operator to do something truly special. Golf is at this peak culturally where it's become this merge of golf courses and lifestyle and become community centers, and it's really your opportunity to jump on it and capitalize on it now. These things are going to get more and more popular. It's the ones that really embrace where they're at, who they're at, what their customer is, and embrace pushing their culture that are the ones that are really going to come out of this on top. Um, Remember, it's your neighborhood, it's your city, it's the visitors that want to come to it because you've built it. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. If you're afraid, if you don't know what to do, if you have questions, like I'd love to help. I'd love to answer them. I'd love to consult or operate or manage, whatever that looks like. Golf has been such an unlock for me. I started probably 6 months before COVID hit, which is like crazy. That's like 6 years ago now. So I am the non-traditional golfer, and the game has impacted my life in so many ways. My message to anyone is, if you can make someone start smiling in the parking lot and then at the counter and then when they get some drinks beforehand, and then by the time they get on the first tee, they're going to hit a great shot, they're going to play a great round, and they're going to create memories that will last them a lifetime. These are places people come to enjoy their friends, their family, their free time. They work hard so that they could, shoot their lowest score, or have that fun. And it's us as stewards of the game to make sure that we provide the best service to them. So I want to see that created all over the world. I want to see lives changed through customers and through employees all over the world. And that's our mission. That's my mission. And that's what we're going to do. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to say that and to be on this podcast. This is really cool. And I love where your guys' mind is and where you're going with this. It's companies like you that are going to lead the future, and guys like you that are going to lead the future of golf. So thanks, man.
Appreciate that, man. I couldn't have put it better myself. And thanks for the kind words. So that's where I'd like to wrap it up. I think where should people go, Matt, if they want to look up your golf clubs and perhaps reach out to you directly?
Yeah, Dobson Ranch Golf Course. That's our Instagram handle. We have Palm Beach National, the Nash. We have Sierra Vista Golf Center. So we are on Instagram, TikTok. We have our own websites. Our management group is Paradigm Golf Group. I always love just, shoot me a DM on LinkedIn. I'm a big LinkedIn guy, and I kind of laugh about it, but I love it. I just think it's really fun. But anywhere, right? Like that's the beauty of like our model is we want to be the easiest business to do business with. And so we're on any platform you can think of. Paradigm Golf Group, Dobson Ranch, Palm Beach National, Sierra Vista Golf Center. So thanks, man.
Great stuff. So then finally from me, this podcast was brought to you by Greenspan. The reason we like to talk a lot about this kind of thing is because we are one of the leaders in design and build of leisure attractions and social entertainment spaces globally. So if you would like to find out more about Greenspan, then you can head over to greenspanltd.com. That's greenspanlimited.com. You can hit us up on LinkedIn, just like Matt, or even on our Instagram at Greenspan_projects. That's it from me. Thanks to Matt Stark for giving us his time and insights. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, Stevie, thank you so much, man. This was a blast, and hope to do some more again soon.
All right. Well, this was Made to Imagine, and I'll see you next time.